afternoon to all. After a lunch of dal batti, churma and all, I'm sure you will all feel heavy, but please, I want to assure you that this particular session is not so heavy, but light only. So please don't sleep off because you may be interested to hear what younger students and younger faculty may present um, their chosen selected posters which have been selected for prizes. Now, the 3-day scientific program in this conference has witnessed experts, speakers, and chairpersons in hours. So switch it off. Oh. Oh. That okay. Sorry. The 3-day scientific program in this conference has witnessed expert speakers and chairpersons showcasing their specialization in different areas of science, technology, and entrepreneurship. The program has been very tight on time. There are, however, we feel there are many younger scientists, researchers, faculty, and college students who are also doing good work. And the purpose of the poster session is to give them a chance to showcase their work. Now, this was the main goal for arranging a poster session in this triennial conference. We got a good response. There were 49 posters in all, 37 offline, that is on-site, and 12 online. We have clubbed these posters in 2 categories. One, biology, health, biotechnology, and environment-related subjects. And the second category is physical sciences, physics, chemistry, instrumentation, and technology. So there were how much? Give me that. Okay. Okay. I stand for correction. I think there were 63 posters in all. I don't get the calculation. So there were 26 on-site posters in category 1 and 9 online. In category 2, there were 11 on-site and 3 online. Each poster was judged by 3 eminent scientists or faculty from colleges or members from corporate sectors. They had the experience and the knowledge specifically in the area of the topic that was being exposed. This exercise was coordinated by our IWSA members, Dr. Sheila Donde and Dr. Suparna Kamath, with other members of the poster committee. We thank all the 25 judges who readily accepted our invitation. They have done a very critical and sincere evaluation. IWSA, under the aegis of the scholarship subcommittee, has provision to award the best posters in our triennial conferences. This has been made possible due to the valued corpus donated by our past founder member, late Dr. Shantu Gurnani, in 1999. Specifically, she gave this corpus to felicitate best papers or posters presented by young researchers. The interest accrued from this corpus is being utilized for this purpose. So in this session, we are very happy to announce that 4 best posters in category 1 and 1 poster in category 2 have been selected by the judges. Dr. Maitri will now announce their names.
Thank you, madam. The first announcement goes to EVOS 2 Anjulal, Department of Biotechnology, Savitribai Phule University, Pune. The title of her work was Biodegradation of Polyhydroxybutyrate based bioplastic by an indigenous tropical marine actinomycete. So kindly present start.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, all. My name is Anjulal. I am doing my PhD in microbiology from Pune University. First of all, I'm thankful for IEFSA for selecting my poster for the Best Poster Award. My poster is about biodegradation of polyhydroxybutyrate-based bioplastic by an indigenous tropical marine actinomycete. Bioplastics are biodegradable plastics that are derived from biological materials. There are different types of bioplastics. Bio-based plastics which are derived from cellulose, starch, etc. And plastics that are derived from bacteria such as polylactic acid, PHA. PHA is polylactic acid and PHA are aliphatic polyesters. And these are produced by the microorganism. PHAs are produced by microorganism. During the nutritional stress, bacteria will accumulate the carbon available in the surrounding in the form of PHA and store them in their inclusion bodies. And this PHA has properties similar to that of conventional plastics. Hence, it is used as bioplastic in nowadays. And PHB is one of the widely studied and most common PHA, which contain 4 carbon atoms in their monomers. And here this is an electron microscopic view of PHA. And some microorganisms have the ability to synthesize PHA. Obviously that organism will contain enzymes, intracellular PHB depolymerase enzyme to utilize the PHA. But after the death of the organism, when the bacterial cell undergo lysis, the PHB will get released into the media. And some other microorganisms which have the ability to synthesize extracellular PHB depolymerase that may not have the ability to synthesize PHB, but they will synthesize extracellular PHB depolymerase and will utilize this PHB which are present in the environment and can convert them into monomer and will utilize them as a carbon source. So there are many organisms which have the ability to utilize PHB. In case of actinomycete, there are very few reports present. So our focus was to study the PHB degradation by marine actinomycete. For that, we selected 4 different strains of Nocardiopsis. We found that our objectives was to evaluate the ability of Nocardiopsis to degrade the PHB and to study the growth pattern of the organism and to understand the enzyme activity. And we also have done some in silico study. So this was our findings. We found that we inoculated the organism in solid and liquid mineral salt medium containing PHB as a sole carbon source. After incubation, we found that the organism released PHB depolymerase into the media and utilized the PHB present in the media. As a result, in the solid media, we got some halo region. And we also studied the different concentrations of PHB in liquid media, and we found that these are alternate flasks are control and test, and we found that 0.08 up to 0.08% PHB containing flasks were completely degraded after 14 days of incubation. So we found that Nocardiopsis was capable of degrading PHB. So next we studied the morphological study of the organism was done. For this, we inoculated the organism in mineral salt medium containing glucose and as a control and PHB as the test. We found that we studied the morphology by semi-analysis. We found that the vegetative growth of the organism was normal in presence of glucose and in the presence of PHB. So next we moved on to study the enzyme assay. For that, we used the cell-free supernatant, crude cell-free supernatant as the enzyme. And we prepared stable suspension of PHB in tris HCl, and incubated the solution for at 37 degrees Celsius for 1 day. And before incubation and after incubation, we compared the decrease in absorbance. So from which we found that the enzyme activity obtained was 0.056 IU per ml per minute. Also, we studied some in silico analysis. For that, the whole genome sequence of the organism was available in NCBI. So we collected the amino acid sequence of the PHB depolymerase enzyme. And based on that, we used Signal P and ProtParam software for studying the in silico character. By using Signal P software, we found that the enzyme contained here, the y-axis shows the probability of having a signal and x-axis shows the amino acid sequences. So this red line shows that probability of having a secretory signal in that peptide. So from 1 to 43 amino acid, there was a signal for secretory signal. So which confirmed that the organism is the enzyme is extracellularly released. And this green line is the indication of a cleavage site, presence of probability of having a cleavage site. So we found that in between 43 and 44 amino acid, there was the cleavage. So the signal, this was the finding from the signal prediction. And from the ProtParam software, we found studied some physiochemical properties. We found that the expected molecular weight was 42, and that enzyme contained 418 amino acid, and theoretical PI was 4.5, and the aliphatic index and instability index indicated the stability of the enzyme. We found the enzyme was thermally stable, and the hydropathy index shows that it is a hydrophilic enzyme. It can act in presence of water. So from all this, we concluded that the Nocardiopsis was capable of degrading PHB extracellularly, and the vegetative growth of the organism was normal in presence of PHB, and the enzyme activity obtained was 0.05 IU per ml per minute. And in silico study further confirmed the enzyme is extracellularly released, and it is a stable protein, and it is a hydrophilic protein. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a very nice presentation. We had already seen your poster earlier too. So it was a very nice work, and congratulations for that. Now you may collect from Devki Madam your certificate.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Anjulal, just 1 minute. You may connect the cash from the office because you have to take their signature. On the top. Next person I announce is BioL 4, that is Neha Deora. It'll be online. Her presentation will be online.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm there.
Bio online 4, number 4. Neha Deora. She's online. Neha, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
You may start your presentation. It will be only for 7 minutes.
Ma'am, has the presentation been put on the screen?
No, we can't see the screen yet.
Do I need to share my screen and do that, or it's already there because I shared it with them?
She will share. You have to share. Neha, you have.
Okay, ma'am, I'll just start sharing my screen.
Neha, please announce your title of the poster too, and from where you are.
Yes, ma'am. Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
On.
Good morning, jury members and everybody attending the conference. I am Neha Deora, PhD graduate from Center for Bioseparation Technology, Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. So the topic of my poster was aloe vera extract ameliorates diabetic and obesogenic malleus in WNIN GROB rats through restoration of beta cell function and lipid metabolism. So before I proceed further, I would like to acknowledge both Vellore Institute of Technology and National Institute of Nutrition, ICMR, where I carried out this work. So we wanted to understand in this project whether aloe vera can bring beneficial effects in both in diabetes as well as obesity, targeting two different mechanisms. That is through.
Neha,
Sorry,
can
yes,
you
ma'am.
take full screen mode?
1 second.
There. That's it. Click on that.
Okay, is it fine now?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. So we wanted to understand whether aloe vera can bring its beneficial effect targeting two different mechanisms, that is DPP4 inhibition and lipase inhibition. So DPP4 is an important enzyme which results into decrease of half-life of GLP-1, which is an important molecule involved in rejuvenation of pancreatic islet cell and thus improves glycemic control. So inhibiting this enzyme, which means that it can increase the half-life of GLP-1 and further control diabetes. The other mechanism we were targeting was lipase inhibition. Since I said in the beginning that we wanted to see whether aloe vera can have simultaneous effect on both diabetes as well as obesity. So lipase is an important enzyme which hydrolyzes triglycerides into monoglycerides as well as free fatty acids and results into dyslipidemia. So inhibiting this enzyme means we are preventing the hydrolysis of triglycerides and thus improving lipid metabolism. So in this experimental design, we took 5 different groups with 6 rats in each group. The first group was WNI and GROB control. WNI and GROB rat treated with streptozotocin, which was our diabetic control. Then WNI and GROB rat, streptozotocin treated with sitagliptin. Here, sitagliptin is our positive control. We used a dosage of 10 milligram per kg body weight. The result we used sitagliptin as a positive control was because we are targeting DPP4 inhibition mechanism. And sitagliptin is a very well-known DPP4 inhibitor. The fourth group was WNI and GROB streptozotocin rats treated with aloe vera at 300 milligram per kg body weight. The fifth and the last group was WNI and GROB rats treated with aloe vera. Since I will just explain a little bit about this particular model. So when I say WNI and GROB rats, so this is a rat which has been derived from V-star rats over a couple of years. NIN stands for National Institute of Nutrition. So due to accidental mixing of WNIN lean rats along with WNIN obese rats resulted into the emergence of third strain having traits of both impaired glucose tolerance as well as obesity. That's the reason we chose this particular model. This study was done for a period of 4 weeks and following biochemical parameters and few SEM images and DEXA scans were carried out, which I'll explain in my next slide. So we wanted to see whether aloe vera has any positive effect on blood glucose level, insulin levels. So as you can see here in image 1.1, that after a treatment of 4 weeks, there's a significant decrease in the blood glucose levels and improvement in insulin levels. In figure 1.3a and b, you can see that I estimated HOMA IR values and HOMA beta values. So HOMA IR values is the values which can give us information about the insulin resistance being developed in the animals. So treatment with aloe vera has significantly reduced this resistance. And in HOMA B values, you can see the diabetic rats has a very reduced HOMA B values. And with treatment with aloe vera has significantly increased these values, which indicates that it is having a positive effects on beta cell function. Since I mentioned that in diabetic patients, DPP4 enzyme activity is very high, which results into reduced GLP-1 levels. So treatment with aloe vera significantly improved or I can say decreased DPP4 activity when compared to diabetic rats, and it improved GLP-1 levels. However, the effects were not very significant. Next, we wanted to see whether it is having a positive effects on dyslipidemia, particularly triglycerides and VLDL levels. Interestingly, what we found out that the treatment with aloe vera, both in diabetic rats treated with aloe vera and GROB rats treated with aloe vera, they showed reduced triglycerides level and VLDL levels. However, we did not see any significant difference in cholesterol and HDL levels. Second, we wanted to estimate another parameter for insulin resistance, that is triglyceride to HDL ratio. What we observed that there was a significant decrease in triglyceride to HDL ratio. So both HOMA IR values and TG to HDL values demonstrated that aloe vera is also having a positive effect in these rats in terms of reducing insulin resistance. So we took the primary islet cell cultures and we wanted to see whether aloe vera is having any effect on cell integrity. In this image A, these are primary islets and bright field images of primary islets. And we stain these islets for 24 hours in dithiazone, that is DTZ stains, which is a zinc chelating agent. So beta cells are, they accumulate high amount of zinc. So this stain is particularly used to stain beta cells. So what we found out after 24 hours, that diabetic islets treated with aloe vera has retained the cell integrity. So we also wanted to see the SEM image of these islets. So here you can see in image A that there is a significant surface, or we can say increased surface irregularities with ruptured outer layer in diabetic rat group. And treatment with aloe vera has significantly improved this, or we can say that relatively smoothen upon the treatment with aloe vera. So the second mechanism which I was talking about was lipase inhibition. As I just mentioned initially, that lipase is an important enzyme which is involved in hydrolysis of triglycerides, which results into free fatty acids that results into increased dyslipidemia. So we wanted to see whether aloe vera can have lipase inhibitory potential. In this study, we took orlistat as a lipase inhibitor, which is a standard lipase inhibitor, and we found out that aloe vera was able to inhibit lipase with an IC50 of 0.5472 microgram per ml. Further, we wanted to confirm whether, the commercially available compounds, whether any of those compounds will have any effect on lipase inhibitory mechanism. So we obtained 7 compounds from aloe vera, which are commercially available, and ran the analysis through bioinformatics, out of which we found out 3 compounds, that is aloin, emodin, and alumin A, that they were having lipase inhibitory potential. So we took these 3 compounds for further biochemical assays, from which only alumin A was able to inhibit lipase with an IC50 of 14.95 microgram per ml. We also carried out kinetic parameters, estimating Km and Vmax value at 3 different concentrations, which are shown in this slide. And when we plotted LB plot, we found out that alumin A was able to inhibit the lipase in a competitive manner. This study was also supported by a bioinformatics study where we did the molecular docking analysis, and we found out that alumin A is able to bind onto the substrate binding site of
Neha, excuse me.
lipase. And
Please
on figure
wind up within
3B, we
2
can
minutes.
see that there are certain amino.
Neha, please
Yeah.
excuse me.
So
Please
in
wind
this
up
only,
2 minutes.
yes, sure, ma'am. This is the last slide, ma'am. So there are certain amino acids which are interacting with on substrate binding site. So in order to conclude, I want to say that aloe vera had a positive effects both on diabetes and obesity through regeneration of beta cells, improving insulin sensitivity, and decreasing dyslipidemia in WNI and GROB models. Thank you so much. And I would like to acknowledge ICMR for funding me, National Institute of Nutrition for giving me an opportunity to work there, CBST and BIT for providing me resources and giving me an opportunity to work at PhD, and IFSA giving me an opportunity to present my work at this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neha. Hearty congratulations. And you may
Thank
collect
you.
your certificate and the cash prize from IFSA.
Thank
Or
you so
be
much.
sent either way.
Sure, ma'am.
It will be sent to you. Hearty congratulations. Keep
Thank
up
you so much. ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
some. Next, I call upon Arsha, that is Health Online #1. Dr. Arsha,
Yes, ma'am.
you're online.
Yes, I'm here.
Please, we are giving you 7 minutes to wind up your work.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to mention your where you're working and also the title.
Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, very much.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, all. I'm Dr. Arsha, PhD scholar from Achuthamenon Center for Health Science Studies, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. So today I'm presenting my study titled Caregiver Burden, Quality of Life and Depression, a comparison between older and younger caregivers of palliative care patients in Kerala. Chronic morbidity is increasing in Kerala. This can be attributed due to the non-communicable disease burden and aging from epidemiological transition. This means more and more people are living with chronic condition for a longer duration, which in turn means that they need a long-term care support, which is often met by the family. Because of this long-term caregiving activity, these family caregivers experience caregiver burden. In this background, I aimed to compare the health-related quality of life, caregiver burden, and depression among older and younger caregivers of patients with serious health-related suffering in Kerala. For this, I conducted a cross-sectional survey among 221 caregivers of palliative care patients in Kollam district of Kerala. This sample size is very small, but this is part of a larger ongoing larger study which tend to do a tool validation. Self-identified primary caregivers aged 18 and above caring for more than 3 months were included in the study, and caregivers whose care is obtained in a critical condition at the time of survey were excluded from the study. Achyuta Menon Center Caregiver Burden Inventory is used to measure the burden. Primary care screening questionnaire for depression and the EQ5D 5L questionnaires were used to screen depression and the health-related quality of life. Analysis was done using SPSS version 25. Nearly 3 out of 10 caregivers were older, and with higher caregivers were being women. And nearly a quarter of caregivers belong to older caregivers screened positive for depression, and half of them experienced a moderate to severe caregiver burden. Higher morbidity and spousal caregiving is quite higher among older caregivers compared to younger caregivers. Difficulty with morbidity and pain were more reported by older caregivers, and anxiety and depression as well reported higher in elderly caregivers. So to conclude, 30% of caregivers themselves are older caregivers. Irrespective of age, women were ended up being caregivers. Older caregivers reported a dual burden of caregiving and physiological aging, thus resulted in a poor quality of health-related quality of life. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And I would like to acknowledge my mentor, Dr. Ravi Prasad Varma from Sri Chitra Institute for guiding through the study. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. It was a nice work you have done, and hearty congratulations. So keep
Thank
up the work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. The certificate and the cash prize will be sent to you since it is online. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Please give her a big hand. The next one, that is TEOS 3, is Ms. Komal Patel, Department of Bioscience and Bioengineering, IIT Bombay, Powai, Mumbai. Her title of the poster was Design and Development of Functional Amyloid-Based Hydrogels as a Versatile Drug Delivery Good. Now, she is not well, so that's why, though it is on-site, so she will not be able to present. Yeah, because she's in hospital. We are told that she's hospitalized yesterday. So that's why she is. Yeah. Now the next person we announce from physics, that is TEOS 6. B. Shashi, Non-Destructive Evaluation Division, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, Kalpakam, Tamil Nadu. Her title is Development of Eddy Current Sensor for Quality Control of Nuclear Component. She's there?
Yeah, there, I'm there. I'm there.
Oh, she's online.
Yeah, I'm there.
Welcome, B. Shashi.
Yeah, nice.
May please present. Yeah.
Yeah, just a minute, ma'am. I'll just make it to do.
7 minutes are given to you. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Please press FY. Yeah.
I think
that
yeah,
is-
good afternoon to all. Good afternoon to all. It's a great opportunity to present my work here before the August gathering. I'm Sashi, working in Non-Destructive Evaluation Division, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research. My title is basically about the development of eddy current sensors in Non-Destructive Evaluation Division. As you know, that non-destructive evaluation is nothing but an engineering component where the technique where you will be going to see the flaw in the material, whether it is in the in-service inspection or in the pre-service inspection. That is like a quality control tool. And basically, it doesn't give any destructive methodology. So it can be applied in all the places. It can be used for residual life assessment also. There's a different techniques. Other ultrasonic is the electromagnetic method like eddy current, magnetic field testing, ACPD and then DCPD and then thermography, ultrasonic, radiography, all the things are there. I am basically working in the electromagnetic NDE technique, which is called eddy current testing. As you all know that it is basically governed the eddy current Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Before going to the sensors, which I am going to talk about, I would like to just give a flavor of what is eddy currents. Because this eddy is nothing but, like you can see that this is the closed loops you are seeing it. As you see from here, when a coil is there, it's a simple eddy current is simple technique. Basically, a coil is, you can see that already current is passing through that. So there is a magnetic field. It is basically Ampere's law. Once the change in magnetic field is felt by the conducting material, there is an eddy current is produced, like you are seeing here. So it's a closed loops. These eddy currents will have its own EMF that's called induced EMF, what you call as a secondary EMF, which is opposite in nature. It's nothing but Lenz's law. So you see the change in the phi1 minus phi2, that is change in phi. That you are measuring as a change in impedance of the coil. It's very simple, basically. And you can see that simulated signals, as you see that, because I used to do the for sensor modeling by simulation as well as the experimental observations. You can see these are typical signals you will be seeing as an eddy current. And I would like to say that since the eddy current is, as you are seeing as a surface, inside it goes like this, an exponential decay. So it's basically called as a surface and subsurface technique. Why I insist upon, I'll just tell you behind that, what's the reason behind that. And if you see the depth at which it is moving, basically follows the permeability and the conductivity of the medium. So whenever there's a change in conductivity and permeability of the medium, you will be getting the response. I would like to show the typical response. As you will see, a single coil is there, you will be getting a response like this. The phase says about the depth of the flaw and the amplitude says about the severity of the flaw. So we mostly concentrate on NDE in our NDE divisions about all the aspects, and I'm involved in everything. Now I would like to show upon the sensor side. What I have done is, as I was telling, that if it is a sensor, it's basically a subsurface and surface. I would like to break through the limitations. So I went for the sensor, which it can be based on the semiconductor device, because it will be measuring the millitesla. If I use a coil, because of the opposing effect of Lenz's law, we will not be able to get the deeper defects. So my challenging was, what was there is, because I have to see the very deep from the behind the surface, I should see a very smallest defect, and with the lift off, which lift off is nothing but the distance between the probe and the specimen. Basically, when you do for the remote inspection, we cannot make that contact of the eddy current. Since you know that eddy current is basically a very fast technique and it doesn't need any couplant like ultrasonic or anything, and it can be used in the radiation because it's a coil. That's the basic characteristics, or we can say advantages of that. So I utilized here for using the in-service inspection of waste wall tank in our nuclear component, and even the reprocessing tanks where the weld lines are there. Weld has to be checked because there will be leakage will be there. So I wanted to make a probe in such a way that I have made a GMR sensor, and I have done the modeling, and I can very well say that the detection of deep-seated flaws of 6 mm lift-off it could be able to achieve. And the beauty of the sensor is that I could be able to see, even if it's a remote place, I can say whether it's surface and subsurface by the nature of the signal. So I'll go back to the next, since the short of time. Then the high temperature surface differential probe I have designed for weld centralized detection in our PFBR, that is which fast breeder reactor, where main vessel and safety vessel welds are to be checked, and then the ultrasonic sensor will come and stand there to see the defect. So we have to see 0.1 mm resolution, this weld central line should be set there. So I have used that. Even our eddy current basically works for the permeability variation. So I took that point as a catching point and utilized here, and then I made the probes which is 140 degrees centigrade. Now I have made the probes which stands 250 degrees centigrade. First, initially it made for the main vessel and safety vessel of the weld central line inspection, simple inspections. And even in the high temperature, it worked very nicely. That's what it shows here. And it has been again extended to it's a very appreciable thing. It has happened that dissimilar weld joint, the roof slabs also now at present is going to be used here. And now I have gone to the other end, that near surface welds will not be seen by the ultrasonic. So I am going to make it that as a complementary technique. So eddy current will be part of our PFBR, all the inspections of quality control and also the ISI. That's why the probe is going to be there. Sorry. The next one, it is basically of the tool which is going to all the PHWR as a calendar tube inspection, which is nothing but the coolant channel, as all the scientists of DAE know very well. So they wanted to, there was an incident in the CAPS 1 2 that in April of 2021, there was a catastrophic failure. They wanted to know what is the reason behind that. So they found that there is some problem in the CT because of some hairline scratches are there. So they wanted to make a probe. So ultrasonic cannot do that since its thickness is like my hairline thickness, only the width of that. And 50 micron is their stringent criteria where more than 50 micron, the calendar tube to be removed. Then calendar tubes are very costly, as you know that. So they wanted to have a technique or the probe. So I have come step into that, and then I made a probe and I simulated by the console modeling, and I found that the probe which should measure that hairline crack should be of less than 2.5 mm. So I made the probe by myself and then made 4 probes. If you see all the clock position, there's a probes are there, two probes are there, which has to measure or the depth of the crack, which is in any orientation. So I have made 4 probes. So they could able to see the circumferential and axial oriented defects. You can see the typical signals, really a joy that we can see that it gives good sensitivity. And you can see that I have made the imaging also. The probe which is having Q15 the tube which has the Q15 could able to image the signals, and I could able to tell that. And then this is a tool now, it's used in all the places, the RAPs and all the APHWR. Now it is a tool and it's going for commercialization of these probes. And then there's another thing, when I joined that, I know that there is eddy current. Eddy current, since you don't need it can go, all my sensors are used in the radiation field. That's what it's a challenge it was there, and I could able to achieve that. And this is surface probe, it is an array probe I have made it. Before when I joined that time, I have made the encircling probe of differential in nature, and we used that and then check the structural integrity of all the carbide fuels. And it's what you say that the clad will be checked that in every places. But I wanted to extend it to say that whether we can see that it's a stack length and the average pellet pitch, so that it can say about the pellet conditions as well as the remaining life, whether it can go ahead for 105 gigawatt or more than that. So I have made a segmented array sensors, and it is placed in now in hot cell, and we have done all the testings. One is an encircling probe, and all 4 sensors I have kept it, and I have confirmed that all of them are getting it in a different clock position. That's why you can see that it is coming in a different clock position. All the 4 probes have given a very good sensitivity, and as it is there past 15 years. Yeah.
Please wind up fast.
Yeah.
Already your 7 minutes are over.
So I have made for PFBR tubes also. And apart from that, I have gone for doing on the structural, microstructural characterization of the probes have been used for the microstructural characterization. I have extended that eddy current sensors. You can see as Kiteri was talking about the metallic fuel pin, we could able to see what's the signals from you're getting from the bonding of the sodiums. And the way it goes on for the cold work specimen also, and also I have making for something on the permeability and the conductivity variation, the tubular components. So far it goes like that. So we would like to make the probe which eddy current and sensor, which I can extend to the microstructural characterization, which has not been seen that. And this is what the work is going on. Something on the grid plate assembly also I have done that. With that, I would like to wind it up. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearty congratulations to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And on behalf of Shashi, Sangeeta will collect.
Yeah, it's really
Kalpata.
nice.
She's from Kalpata. Please collect
Yeah.
the award from Devika madam. I thank all the audience, and I give the mic to Deviki madam to invite the new guests.
Hello, those past poster participants who are listening. Congratulations to all of you for cooperating with me all throughout this journey. It was a difficult journey, but you all cooperated. So thanks to all of you. And one more announcement to on-site participants, if you're logged in, please collect your posters from IFSA with prior intimation. It will be present. You can call up the office or you can use my number, call me up, and you can pick up the poster. But do intimate us prior before you come here to pick up your poster, okay?
The cash award will be given from the office. So please collect the cash award from the office. Okay. Thank you so much, all the audience. And I give the mic to Devika Madam to invite our guests. Thank you.
For those posters that have been off-site, the certificate and the awards will be arranged to send. Okay. Online. Of course. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon to everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce two very special guests who are there with us today. One is Deputy Consul General of the Federal Republic of Germany in Mumbai, Dr. Maya Einig. I hope I have pronounced your name properly, madam. Dr. Maya. Maya. Dr. Maya, I would like to introduce you. She has studied law from the University of Cologne, has had legal training and has also had leadership training at the hospital management. She's okay. Sorry. Dr. Maya has studied law from the University of Cologne. She has had legal training and has had leadership training at the hospital management. She's multilinguistic, knows German, Finnish, English, and Swedish. She has been working for the German Federal Foreign Office since 1989, holding posts of German embassies in Helsinki, Finland, USA, etc. She served as the deputy head of mission at German embassies in Madagascar and Sri Lanka. Before her assignment to India as Deputy Consul General in Mumbai, she was Deputy Head of the Division for Higher Education, Science and Research at the German Foreign Office in Berlin. She has a versatile knowledge about science, education, and would like to address our young participants on the topic Scientists of Tomorrow. Dr. Maya is accompanied by Professor Mala Pandurang, who is the principal of BMN College, Mumbai. Professor Mala is also ambassador scientist to India from Alexander von Humboldt Foundation of Germany. I invite Dr. Maya to address our young audience, and Professor Mala can also speak a few words after the talk. Thank you.
Dear, can you hear me? Dear President of IFSA, dear organizing team of this 50 years jubilee, honorable dignitaries and eminent scientists, dear young, curious, aspiring students on your way to enter the fascinating world of science. First of all, congratulations to the amazing Indian women scientists for their 3 days program packed with scientific knowledge from fusion energy to circular economy, from quantum science to genome editing. And frankly, I have to immediately correct one thing. I'm not a doctor. I have a high appreciation of everybody who has done the PhD. I sincerely hope that all these presentations are restored for those unlucky ones who missed most of the highlights. What an inspiring dive of 3 days in the vast pool of research. You have truly shown that there are innumerable areas to work on, and despite the many riddles already solved, there always remains some new to discover. And probably even more appealing to young people, you have shown the impact of science in our daily life, that we actually are surrounded and embedded in science without realizing it. If you get hold of it, you can be a real change maker. You can impact our environment, our technology, our perception of the world. Dear participants, recently I learned that in India, women make up approximately 28% of the workforce in science, technology, engineering, and maths. That sounds like there's still room for improvement. And I think, by the way, Germany is somewhere on a similar percentage. I was quite amazed when I searched for statistics and found out that in Europe, some smaller countries like Latvia and Lithuania show a remarkable percentage of over 50% of female researchers. And another amazing discovery, Latin American countries also have an incredibly high number of female researchers. Argentina, Guatemala, Venezuela, Panama all show percentages over 50%. That tells me also we in Europe still have a long way to go, especially countries who are under the worldwide average of 29%. So there is your challenge. Young, bright ladies, go there and conquer the world of science. The last few days in this conference have proved you have fantastic role models to show you the way. I learned that India is one of the few countries in the world to produce the highest number of scientists and engineers. And frankly, looking at the demographics of this country of 1.4 billion inhabitants, there is a huge talent pool of young people eager to explore and discover possibilities. And many of them, I hope so, in this online, offline audience. Dear students, I recently came across this fascinating book of 76 women in STEAM. It gives a glimpse into their path to science, what encouraged them, and which challenges they needed to overcome. It is a great collection of stories full of willpower, perseverance, dreams, hard work, determination, fearlessness, and a never give up and can-do attitude. Because they experienced how it felt to be the absolute minority also in lecture halls, labs, and research teams and workplaces, struggling probably with expectations of their parents, their families. But many women also felt hugely encouraged in their careers by family, friends, teachers, and mentors. These stories also tell the joy and fulfillment having pursued a passion, having reached a goal. These women have become medical doctors, environmental specialists, architects, public health experts, biomedical engineers, water resource engineers, professors of chemistry. They have established own companies, NGOs. They teach as professors at universities in India and abroad. Here, one of the quotes from a master of biotechnology from that book. She believes that an education in science is vital in developing a scientific temper for logically understanding many modern day problems and their solutions. Or another scientist decided to finish her PhD in pharmacy because she watched her mom suffering from ulcers. Another student started a career in computer engineering and discovered her passion for innovation. She founded her first company, which currently employs more than 600 people across US, UK, Israel, and India. Similarly, those of you who had the chance to follow IFSA's 3-day program listened to a great number of women and saw the variety of their careers. All these women shape the world day by day. As technology is moving at a fast pace, science has a great role to play, and women should have an active part in it, because visions and inventions of today shape our future world. Everything man-made or women-made out there started with a vision in somebody's head, right? Look, for example, at architecture and the story of one of these ladies of my fabulous book, who after her studies in New Delhi got a scholarship at Columbia University in New York and did her master's in architecture and urban design. She later founded the NGO User Generated Cities to give life to her ideas of people-centric architecture, urban design, and sustainable development. She is the innovator of social capital credits, the community currency for social good that allows thousands of people across India, Ghana, Kenya, and the US to earn SOCCs for helping their community and redeeming SOCCs for their education, healthcare, microcredit, and upskilling. This concept has won several awards, including the World Changing Idea Award. The same lady, similarly, over the past 10 years, has transformed by her NGO, URBZ, many neighborhoods and developed new models in architecture of a tool house, combining living and working space, then facilitating income generation in communities, such as Dharavi and Shivaji Nagar in Mumbai. Other projects have been conducted, for example, in Istanbul, Brazil, and Chile. This lady architect has served as an advisor on urban design projects in several countries, also, for example, to the mayor of New York. Also a new and impressive discovery for me. So just as an example, what incredible pathways and careers you can make in the field of science. By the way, dear young participants, looking into history of female scientists, who of you has heard of the mathematician Ada Lovelace, born in 1815, who invented a complex calculator, in a way the basis for modern computer programs? And I guess many of you have heard about Marie Curie and her research on radioactivity, laying the basis of radiology. What about Rosalind Franklin and her discovery of the DNA double helix, or Lise Meitner. She was born 1878, one of the first women in the beginning of the 20th century who did her PhD in physics at the University of Vienna. Together with her husband Otto Hahn, the couple discovered nuclear fission. The Nobel Prize was actually granted only to her husband Otto Hahn. No wonder that she's a little less known to the world. Dear eminent scientists in this round, many female scientists might have gotten encouragement from their parents or spouses, or happened to have great role models. But many young women might not have such a luck or privilege. Therefore, I applaud IFSA for conducting also mentoring programs and would encourage all the accomplished scientists in this IFSA Jubilee program consider joining in this effort, sharing their valuable experiences with one or a few younger ones who want to follow your footsteps. Let me briefly elaborate why I mention this. Since end 2021, we have a new foreign minister in Germany, the first lady in this position. She introduced a policy concept called feminist foreign policy, or FFP. It is not a totally new idea. Other countries, such as, for example, Canada, Sweden, France, Spain, Mexico, are forerunners and already active in that field since years. It is a way of looking at foreign policy in a more inclusive way, trying to take all stakeholders into account, involving those who are impacted most also into the decision-making. One good example are security threats because of climate change, floodings, and other catastrophes, where often vulnerable communities and especially women suffer most. FFP is based on the idea that everybody should have the possibility to actively participate in societal issues which concern them, deserves rights, resources, and representation. In the end, it means a widening of perspectives and chances, using not only 50%, but 100% of talent and creativity which is around to tackle the challenges in our world. I'd say getting women on board in education and science, giving them the chance to develop their talents will give back to the society 100-fold, and is very much in line with the inclusiveness of the FFP. You all know the famous line, if you educate a woman, you educate a family. And I guess you agree, you educate and nourish the whole community around. Therefore, thank you for giving me the chance to encourage you, the future leaders, to gift us the best of your talents. Thank you, IFSA, for your steady support of this cause.
Thank you, Dr. Maya, for giving your valuable time to come to this conference, and your advice and kind words of wisdom, I'm sure would be apt and useful to the younger generation. Thank you very much. I hope the younger generation is inspired to follow your advice in their scientific career for life. Dr. Maya, we would like to give you our conference registration bag. Please accept it. Okay, sorry. I think you have already received it. Thank you. And I would invite Professor Mala, if she would like to give a few words of wisdom to our younger generation of scientists.
Good afternoon to my fellow women scientists, both offline and online, and senior and junior. I was not expecting to speak this afternoon. So I really do not have a speech that is so well researched as Frau Maria has just presented to you. But I would like to thank the president and all the office bearers of this wonderful organization for inviting me to be with you this afternoon. Being in Mumbai, I have heard a lot about the Indian Women Scientists Association. But now I have finally come to actually see the good work that you're doing in person. I'm very humbled and I'm extremely inspired. I am the principal of a women's institution under the Seva Mandal Education Society, the SNDT College at Matunga. We have 6,000 girls on campus. I am an alumni of the SNDT Women's University, the oldest and the largest women's university in the country. And therefore, there is so much that we have in common. In my mind, as I was being taken around, I've already made all these connections of how we can collaborate, how you can mentor our students, and perhaps in some small way, we can help you to mentor the women who come to your organization. I realize how important it is for young girls today to have a scientific attitude, a scientific temper, whatever is their discipline. And unfortunately, our system does not give them that kind of thinking skills. And I would especially like to applaud all the senior women scientists. You are pioneers, you are path breakers. And I think just your presence to speak to young students will be inspiration enough. So thank you for having me here this afternoon. I'm also here in my capacity as the ambassador scientist of the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. And therefore, for the women scientists who have completed your doctorates, there is tremendous possibilities and grants that are being offered by the Humboldt Foundation. I'll be very happy to talk to you about what's available and how you can access more information at a later point of time. The Humboldt Foundation will open windows, which will give you unlimited possibilities. I can tell you that from my personal experience. And of course, as many of your mentors will tell you, Germany itself is the place that you need to be if you want academic excellence. And you also want an environment that will promote your innovative, creative, analytical, and just independent thinking skills. So I'm really looking forward to a long association. And thank you once again for having me this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Mala, for your extempo words of wisdom. Thank you.
Before we go further, I would request all the poster participants to collect their receipts from the office. So before you leave, please collect your receipts of the registered, which you have already registered. So collect the receipts. It's ready in the office. Thank you. Now we close this session and thank you. We close this session and thank you all for attending it. And now I request all of you to be there for our valedictory function. Thank you. What is the time? Function का क्या time है? Within 10 minutes. The tea will be served at 4 o'clock. That's what we were told. So maybe I'll just see to it. So please come back for the valedictory function. Thank you all.
Hello, those of you who have to collect your receipts for your registration, please go to the office and do so now so that you can get them. If you don't want it, it's okay. But if you do want it for your official needs, do collect it. Do collect it.
Hello, friends. Welcome you all for the last session of the conference. Hello. I welcome you all for the last session of the Golden Jubilee Conference. We have the last session. I am Bhuneshwari, member IMSA EC. This session is being chaired by Dr. Shyamala Bharadwaj. She is our Vice President. Shyamala has retired as Head Fuel Cell Material and Catalysis Section, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai in December 2015. After 38 years of research work, she has been associated with ISA since 2015. She was Secretary ISA for the period of 2017 to 19, Member Executive Committee 2019 to 21, and editor of ISA newsletter since 2015. Madam, please.
Yeah, thank you, Bonia, for introducing me to the audience. Now it's my pleasure and duty to introduce Dr. Archana Sharma, who will be the speaker of this valedictory session. And you know, this conference we started with Dr. Archana Sharma from CERN, and we are ending the conference with another equally inspiring speech from Dr. Archana Sharma of BARC. Okay, Dr. Archana Sharma, she received her BE degree in electrical engineering from Regional Engineering College, Bhopal, and then her PhD from IISc Bangalore. And she has she joined as a scientific officer in BARC Mumbai. Now she is a associate director with Beam Technology Development Group, and she has over 100 publications, presentations in international, national conferences. And she is a recognized guide of the Homi Bhabha National Institute and Mumbai University. And her specialization is design and development of multi-gigawatt pulsed electron beam generators based on max generators and linear induction accelerators. And she has various research interests, including high power microwave, flash X-ray, and industrial electron beam accelerators, and other interesting fields. And Dr. Sharma is a fellow of Indian National Academy and the Institute of Engineering and Technology and Institute of Engineers. So with these words, I invite Dr. Archana Sharma to give her talk about BARC technologies for sustainable development. Yeah, Dr. Sharma, please.
Thank you, Bharadwaj madam. Thank you for your kind invitation and perseverance with me to take all the data timely. I am thankful to IFSA. Today it is a 50th birthday, so happy birthday to IFSA. So that is 50th Golden Jubilee celebration for which we are here. So, yeah, again. So, sorry, good evening, all of you. I am thankful to organizer of IFSA for giving me this opportunity, and especially Nareshwar madam and Bharadwaj madam, who has taken all the pain to organize this so meticulously. And Rita madam is now president, so I congratulate all of them for conducting this function so successfully. First meeting when we had online, and when I told if we have to organize this symposium in BRC will have these many norms. Immediately, senior ladies of IFSA who are founder, it got stuck to their egos. Why we should be under BRC, we'll make it in our own place. And there they decided not to go with DAE Convention Center, and we'll make our own rules, regulation, and conduct it in IFSA. So congratulate for their ego, self-respect, and IFSA's foundation. Okay. Thank you. And now I am going to talk about the topic which I have proposed for BRC technology. As most of us know, we are all from BRC, are BRC like-minded people, and how it is giving solutions for sustainable development. Though a topic is for BRC, but it is endless. So I will confine to my group, Beam Technology Development Group, which is working for this laser, plasma, electron beam, pulse power, and accelerators. And this group is expanding from Kharghar Electron Beam Center to Vizag. So you can see from one east corner to west corner, BTDG is there. And all of you are invited anytime, anywhere, wherever you are finding it convenient. So what is sustainable development? All the time we are listening this sustainable development part. So we talk about this social, economic, and environment. In 1987, when this term was coined first time, they always told whenever we are talking about present generation's need, we also should take care of future generation need. They also should not have any scarcity. So keeping those things in mind, now we talk about this sustainable development. So how BRC technology, which is supposed to be working in a very strategic area, very focused area, is giving solution for societal application. During this COVID period, so many spin-off technologies came out of BRC and it served the mankind. And during Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, almost full DAE was showcasing their technology in different forums, that our technology is not limited to power, nuclear bomb, or heavy water, or only strategic thing. It is also spin-off technologies are good enough for serving society. So I will start with a plasma application. So these are the plasma devices. First plasma device which we were making for decontamination of glow boxes for plutonium. During COVID period, when I was made group director of this, we immediately thought whether this can remove bacteria. COVID was not detectable at that time in March 2020. First 1 week was lockdown. Afterwards, people said at least seniors should come. Then they said 50%. All those things started. So we made cold plasma for bacteria decontamination. Immediately, our BSG colleagues came forward. Our health physics came forward, and they confirmed that cold plasma can decontaminate even bacteria. So people who are working in hospital, they wanted to keep their mobile or purse in a place where they can reuse it without any fear of mind. So those two instruments we gave to one to hospital and other one to our office files. So that was cold plasma decontamination. Then it was dielectric barrier discharge plasma. And then one more colleague in Vizag, pulsed UV discharge. And he proved that it is better than UV because UV is taking 30 minutes and this can do it within few seconds after discharge irradiation, and you are able to do it. Where to throw all this medical waste which is already contaminated? For that, there was a solution from air plasma torch, which was again made for some other studies. And this way, we could bring solutions for societal application for removing the contamination. So these are our plasma devices. Again, I am telling you, we are also standing on the shoulders of our seniors who have started this technology 50 years back, 1960s, 70s, when this Venkatramani sir, A.K. Das sir, and those people have brought this thing. Today, we are seeing as a product. They started in a lab. They started demonstrating how plasma is studied, what is their characteristics. And today, we could bring in the product to a plant form. So these are the technology where we have gone 30 kilowatt to 100 kilowatt torch because this plume length is high. So that plume length is giving the advantage of burning all the waste, because nowadays solid waste, liquid waste, where to throw? We have to stop that waste. Either you collect it as a wealth or you make it benign so that it can sustain our fertility of ground or aqua species in the water. So that sort of thing could be addressed during this air plasma incineration. Again, incineration is a waste because we are changing everything into CO2 and H2. Oh, then you can convert into gasifier. So that gasifier can bring syngas where this can be converted into energy. So this was the plant where we can burn all the waste and convert into either energy form or in a benign gas. So this plant is now operational. Two places in BRC, one in Pripshed where R&D is being done. What waste will give you what type of energy, because 24% of CO plus H2 will be used for gasifier. And another one, LNCM is burning, open burning is being done for our BRC waste. So there also they can use and have closed burning. So that is cold plasma, as I started, because when Dr. D.S. Patil was working, it was having smaller area. Our next generation is working to make area bigger and bigger. After this spin-off technology, now it is again, they are concentrating back to decontamination of nuclear waste. And this red one is a tabletop H2O2 generation, because when we went and wanted to see what type of a decontamination procedure is being followed, then they told it is imported, there is H2O2O2. Whereas when you put cold plasma, immediately H2O2 gets formed because of that cold plasma and this activity. This sort of experiments can be shown at low cost. It can be put in your lab also, or it can be taken for a live visit. This was a long pending job. For decades, our seniors have worked. And during this last 2 years, we could successfully, Dr. Ashavari is sitting here, that by atomic vapor generation, we could knock down only required isotopes, which were there only 12%, to the extent of purity of 96 to 98% purity. So this was having multidisciplinary research area where samarium, ytterbium, and lutetium could be found out. Initial wavelength, power, stability, all those things will be done by spectroscopists like Dr. Ashavari. Then laser will be made to that tune of stable and power for that many hours. And then atomic vapor generation within a Doppler width of required velocity, so that when laser is interacting, there should not be any change in the power or frequency. Successfully, we did clinical trial for all these things, and for more than 500 patients, it was used last year, and we could tell it during Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav that BRC is capable of producing indigenous medical isotopes by our own means. So that is another. Then laser, already laser and plasma division, laser and plasma technology, you are listening. We have made many instruments, contactless and coherent light. That is the main property of laser by which we are working for vibration or distance or diameter measurement. We have also used it for fake currency. When some ink is there and it is emitting certain light, and if that is coded or encrypted, we can identify. When instrument was made, they asked to make it cheaper. Then when it was made cheaper, you make it faster. Then now we made it faster. So that is how it is called Param Dishti, Drivi Dishti, Param Tej Dishti. And then we have made for security reason. That is for financial security. Next one is for border security, because we have got long borders with our neighbors and we want to secure them. So for that PIDS, that perimeter intrusion detection system was also made using laser. So this basic property of laser, we could detect for 5 kilometer range, and it has been successfully demonstrated. Now it is in the stage of implementation. Antardishti means it is a two concentric cylinders in a fuel handling machine. When we are refueling, always if misalignment is there and during more than 2 meters, when you are pushing the fuel, there will be some problem. So recently we have got this job done for taps 3 and 4. And now they are going to implement it in a bigger reactor. It was in a test setup, successful demonstration was done. Similarly, biosensors were also developed. It is some basic concepts of laser-based, illumination-based devices, which are at science level, which will become technology for tomorrow. That is how all of us are growing, and we are working towards science and technology for society to do sustainable development with lesser chemical and lesser waste. This is, everybody talks about quantum computing, quantum networking. We are also working in similar area. Laser cooling has been demonstrated, and now we are going for ion trap and then laser cooling. These two things, if we can combine, as first day Dr. Archana Sharma told, this is time not to compete, but to collaborate. So IPR has got a competency of ion trap. We have got the competency of laser cooling. If these two come together, we can move faster. Otherwise, all are competent. Everybody can do the job. We should come together. Now I will talk about Pulse Power program, which is actually started for fusion program before 90s. After 90s, when we got to know that fusion not to be taken forward, our boss that time decided, let us work for EMP, NEMP, when exoatmosphere environment, if any nuclear explosion occurs, by the time it reaches to that, it will be only an electromagnetic pulse, which will be at the peak within sub-microsecond, 10 nanosecond. How will you measure? How will you simulate? What will happen to our electronic devices, our information system? So from that point of view, we started our Pulse Power program. It remained strategic to some extent. Afterwards, we have got so many other industrial applications. I will start one by one. For intentional electromagnetic interference, how to protect our electronics. Nowadays, drone has become such a big nuisance. How to knock down drone? We need to have this sort of facility. And we have shown flash X-ray, if any sub-microsecond phenomena like nuclear explosion or implosion is happening, and we want to capture those events. So for that, you need nanosecond X-ray system, which is possible. We have made through ECIL, we have sent it to ISRO. For making system compact, this is the latest technology, which is LTD, and this magnetic pulse welding for dissimilar material. If somebody is interested in metal to know about D9 to ODS or SS to TI, which is very difficult to weld, that also we have welded only by one capacitor discharge. That magnetic pulse welding, if people are interested in knowing more, they are also welcome anytime. The nanopowder generation we did by this capacitor discharge phenomena in a deuterium gas medium, and by DD fusion, we have also created pulse neutron. And this copper nanopowder was used during COVID period to see whether antimicrobial property is possible or not. Railgun we have demonstrated to simulate the effect of AK-47 without any explosive. AK-47 can give you 8 gram to 9 gram mass bullet at the speed of 1 kilometer per second. If you want to know whether your metal is sufficient to make a bullet or your shield is sufficient to shield against AK-47, this sort of electromagnetic pulse power system can do the job. So these are different pulse power system which we have developed indigenously, self-reliant, and this cost will be less than 1/3 of whatever is available in the market. So this technology can always be given to anybody who is interested. We have also given to many industries, and these are different combinations of metals which we have joined by one discharge. It is microsecond phenomena by which we are getting this weld. SSTI, otherwise they have to do explosive welding, then take out disc, and from disc you make a tube. How much long process? Here it is just by one tube to tube joint, given capacitor discharge. There is some governing equations which are very simple to follow, it has been mastered and ready for transfer. These are electron beam welding and melting machine that also has been successfully developed. Again, started in the 1970s by Ray Saab, Thakur Saab at that time, and now their successors, only Dr. Jha and people have shown. Now, NFC has demonstrated 150 kV. Now we are working for niobium welding using this electron beam welding, and round the clock duty for NFC to make niobium. So electron beam welding and melting machine is also in our portfolio. Electron accelerators. You all might have heard about electron accelerator all the time. I keep inviting you because this is the technology which is very close to heart and very much required for the society. And this is available just at your doorstep. It is in the CBD to Kharghar. One service road is there, on that it is available, and it has got so many applications. In 1993, when pulse power system was not to be pursued for strategic program, accelerator and pulse power division was made by Dr. Chidambaram sir, and Dr. Ron was made head. And from that time, it is only 30 years of journey, and we made so many accelerators. And all of them, those dreams of Dr. Ron, who was my first boss, I am proud to say that we are close to realizing all his dreams. What we had the capability and he had the vision, and we are working on his dreams. So these are the accelerators, application for e-waste management, wastewater, semiconductor, diamond coloration, ISRO, what sort of decay will be there in satellite, solar panels, then cable cross-linking, enhancing the food, the shelf life of food, and sterilization of medical waste and agriculture. All these applications I'm not taking from Google. It is from EBC's experimental facts. This is the Gazette notification given by to the Government of India, first time in 2012, then 2016. Already it is shown how much dose you have to give, minimum and maximum, and what type of properties you can get for frozen meat to fruits, vegetables, to other cosmetic product or any material, groceries which you want to export. Because without this radiation certificate, you cannot export to a developed country. All these things were being done so far by cobalt-60. And cobalt-60 can give you only fixed energy of 1.17 or 1.32. But whereas by accelerator, you can give any energy from 200 kV to 10 MeV. Above 10 MeV, again, because of neutron activation, they will say it is not used for industrial application. So 10 MeV becomes a limit. So from that point of view, you can see what our Minister of State is telling. He is telling that the installation and operation of these adequate number of food irradiator facilities are required for logistic infrastructure across the country, so that our farmers' income will also increase, our waste of food also will reduce, and country will prosper more. So that is how we will achieve our sustainability. So this is our electron beam center, which was inaugurated by Kakotkar Saab on 22nd July 2004. So we are almost completing 20 years this July. And during this period, what all things have been done? You can see in 1998, first DC accelerator was inaugurated in Vashi, which was rated for 500 kV 20 milliampere. It was made only for surface modification. BTRA was our close collaborator at that time to improve textile of wrinkle-free textile. Our SBC was using their tiles for surface modification, which could be used on submarine to make it anti-detection. So those sort of surface things were done for 500 kV DC accelerator. And now we have gone up to 3 MeV. Pranab Mukherjee Saab is inaugurating that time in 2013 for flue gas treatment. That time it was NOx and SOx were removed simultaneously. Otherwise, no other process can remove both these gases simultaneously. Okay, sorry. So, and this was for water treatment. And these are Manmohan Singh is inaugurating our RF accelerator facility, which we have made 6. Total, we have made 9. So many applications, they are endless. You can see in the literature, anything which cobalt 60 can do or any radioisotope can do can be done by electron accelerator. We have shown it for water treatment. This COD, BOD, and even chromium can be removed because efficiency is more because of these 2 processes. And even it will gain back its fertility. So instead of becoming a waste, it is giving now life. So that is the beauty of electron beam accelerator. And even in outside countries, when they have to go for higher throughput, they use many machines of that category. So we are also signing one MOU with a National Mission for Clean Ganga. This is the signature on 21st December 2022. And now we have to make this accelerator in Kanpur for Teneri water cleaning. So these cargo scanner for border security, when any misdeclaration is there, human trafficking is there, or weapons are being brought down, this sort of accelerator can do the job and it will give the results. We have made this accelerator. It is meeting all the global criteria. If you are giving the order for this accelerator and you do factory acceptance test in foreign, you will see only NC and IC criteria, which we are able to show with all those parameters of NDT. This is another beauty of LINEC. So far, neutron is only getting generated in reactors. But in this case, after electron beam is getting converted into gamma, and gamma to beryllium, we have made a photoneutron source to this LINEC-based neutron source, where inside this glass tumbler, steel tumbler, there is a water which could be photographed. So that is the beauty of LINEC-based neutron source. So I want everybody to know that neutron can be generated in a continuous mode. Latest one is X band, means compact. If you go from S band to X band, 3 gigahertz to 9 gigahertz, how size is reducing from 80, 90 to 30 mm. And this is the medical LINEC, which will replace Bhavatron cobalt 60 by electron LINEC. And we can do the treatment more effectively with lesser damage to the patient. These are the technologies. I'm just giving the numbers, how many technology we transferred under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. 75% discount was given, and so many people came forward, and we gave this technology on non-exclusive basis. And these were many programs we conducted, national, international, theme seminar, webinars with Dhareshwar madam. We had multiple talks for students, ladies, and we had industrial visits. And we could write books also, so that a future generation should know what work has been done in last 5 years, so that reinventing a wheel should not be there. For every talk, there was a proceeding. And this one lady, Ashavari, that Dhavle, yellow suit is there. And her technology has been taken by 4 industries. This is FC, fast current transformer. Actually, it is costing less than 1 lakh. If we are buying, it will be costing 12 lakhs because 1 or 2 persons are only making. So this lady scientist has made a country proud, DAE proud, that one technology could be brought to 50,000 rupees price. And it is very much needed by everybody. And just this I want to, before concluding, I want to say IAEA has also given a this decision or mandate that we should replace all radioisotope based irradiator by machine based irradiator, and they are giving different incentives, and people have started adopting this technology. So before it is too late and other people start giving, let us adopt this machine and put it at various sectors, right from food, agriculture, industry to medical sterilization or treatment. So my way forward, last slide, that we have made so many accelerators, we have developed so many processes, all because of our seniors' guidance, our colleagues' cooperation and collaborators' confidence on us. And number of people are there who have brought this day to us. So now takeaways, let us collaborate, outreach, and always create this awareness, which IFSA is doing for 50 years very successfully. I thank all the organizers for giving me this platform to share this technology spin-off for the society towards sustainable development. And I conclude my talk here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana. It was really wonderful listening to you, on a wide range of, applications, which all the kind of, plasma, lasers, accelerators, And so many, you talked about all spin-off technologies, covering a large, kind of fields where these technologies can be used, from medicines to agriculture to various, even border security and all those places. It's really a mind-boggling thing to
Thank you. I
see
invite
that.
everybody to please visit, come with your family, friends,
Yeah.
students, neighbors, everybody. It is for
Yes.
social outreach, it is for educational tour, it is
Yeah.
for industrial visit. All of you are welcome. Just give me 2 days notice. And you are
Yeah,
here.
so it's really, you have given the glimpse of the whole things. Now I think the students can take more from you, after individually interacting with you in whatever way capacity they can, and take it forward or learn more and use it in their careers or research and all those things. So with these words, I thank you. But let us take 1 or 2 questions from the audience before
Yeah, thank you.
we,
I will be happy
conclude
to do
this.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask the audience what are the questions they have for Archana Sharma. Yeah.
Excellent talk. I just want to know that radiation is being used, accelerators are developed for the culture. In culture, IAE also has a very big program on culture, treating the artifacts like ancient objects and all using radiation. And that is one of the biggest industry worldwide. So in India, we have not yet started this activity, because there you need a large beams, area of the beam exposure area should be very high. So is it the limitation in your things, or is there any?
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you for asking this. One is for ancient architecture, it is either carbon dating to know the life, otherwise preservation. For that, we need to scan the beam. Beam will be generated with a smaller diameter. And if you want to cover the full area, we have to scan it with magnetic field. It can be done with one machine, or we can have multiple machines. So to do the job.
No, but that activity is not being done in
Yeah,
India.
I agree.
That's what I want to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So as a
So,
leader.
right now we are struggling for food, agriculture, and diamond irradiation.
Are there some, yeah,
There-
Meera wants to ask.
Yes,
another
madam,
question.
please. Thank you. And economic viability.
Yeah, you are replacing her isotopes with, so she will.
No, I wouldn't say replacing. It's always good to have two.
Okay,
The
yeah, I
competition
saw
is always
that.
big. Yeah.
Complimenting
First of
you,
all,
sir.
congratulations. Very
Yeah.
nice talk. I know it's
Yeah.
how difficult it is to cover everything under one. It's quite a good glimpse, and I'm sure everybody is enthused and looks at everything, what appeals to them. My question was regarding your, enriched isotopes. You had shown about
Yeah,
potassium
medical
176,
isotopes, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
for
Yeah.
making medical isotopes.
Yes,
So you're
ma'am.
making the stable isotopes enriched. That's a very good field, and it
Yes,
will have a huge market if it
Yes,
can
ma'am.
be really upscaled.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Because right now only Isoflex in Russia is
Yes,
the
yeah.
sole,
Supplier,
and,
right, ma'am.
they
Very.
reached 1 milligram molybdenum 98 price from $1 to $100 just within 2 years.
Yes.
So
sir,
it
yeah.
is that kind of a market. So how do you plan?
Yes,
How
ma'am.
do you convince the government
Yes.
that this should be a huge project and you have a huge market?
Yes.
And are you collaborating with BRIT on that?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Very nice question, Meera madam. Actually, we are very closely working with RCIG, Reactor Group, and BRIT, because after separating these isotopes from the material, we are sending it to physics group and ACD for quantification isotopic purity. Then we are giving it to RCIG. They will encapsulate it, put it in a reactor. After getting irradiation of required dose, then it will be put again back to RCIG, then to BRIT, and supply it. Now we have demonstrated, and more than 500 patients had been treated. Results are satisfactory. Main question comes now how to upscale in a production mode, because now these all lasers are supplied by RRCAT. Only few lens and Etalon are imported, and power supplies are also from RRCAT. Our expertise is to make what wavelength we need, single mode laser, close bandwidth, and stable purity, stable wavelength. All these data will be taken by spectroscopy to process laser, And this takes really 25 to 30 crore rupees of infrastructure. But when it is required, money is not the criteria, and we can take it to Vizag for a upscaling in a production mode. Our demonstration is done.
Very good. I am happy that it's thought of, and 25-30 crore is nothing
Yes,
for the
madam.
current
Yes,
time.
yeah.
Only thing is, I hope that the different units
Yes.
cooperate in a unison, because you saw how INVAP has made
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
plan. So I really wish that our
Yeah,
he also stands up and supplies. We have all the capabilities. It just needs holding hands.
Yes,
And
madam.
I wish you all the best. And EVs replacing cobalt or any other, that's also very true.
Yes,
Everywhere
madam.
else.
Yes,
And I
madam.
also wish you all the success in
Thank
that.
you, madam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
2 milligram per
Yeah.
week, Brit wanted, and we could supply 1 week.
Yeah.
Just to show that we can do it.
Yeah,
madam.
but it has to be done week after week. after
Exactly,
week, year
exactly.
after year.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
got it
challenge.
right. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. madam.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Now I would invite some questions from the younger group. Are there some of the youngsters, please ask her questions. You can learn a lot from her. She is inviting all of us to her accelerator facility where we can visit. And of course, we are our IMSA members will definitely
Yes.
visit. We will bring some students also,
Yeah,
our student interns, and try to have some kind of
And every
internship
student will have,
programs.
like, it's
Yeah.
had each one teach one. We
Yeah.
will have one project for everyone. So
Yeah,
I can assure
then
you.
you can see the wide range she has talked. So there can be so many students can be associated with her programs and take it forward. Yeah, okay. But are there some curious questions coming from the youngsters? That's what I am more interested in. And yeah, I think most of the youngsters have left also. Okay, with this, we will conclude this talk. There is a question. Good. Yeah. I see a young girl coming up. Good.
Hi, madam. I had a small question. I
Please.
just want to know, you have mentioned something like enrichment of the lanthanides using laser. Enrichment of lanthanides using laser. So I just want to know something about it.
Lutetium, ytterbium, and this thing we have shown for medical isotope, where quantity requirement was in milligrams. In kgs and tons, we are not yet planned, because we want to do lots of study first in photoplasma and laser interaction, and then we can go for. Otherwise, lanthanides, Ashavari can answer better. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Very good, madam. Cost wise, it is same. 10 crore for 1 mega curie cobalt 60, and 10 crore subsidy is given by Ministry of Food, and my 10 MeV 10 kilowatt will also cost of same price. But cobalt 60 every 5 years you have to replenish, and it can do only 1 MeV. Here you can do all sorts of job, like JM irradiation cannot be done by cobalt 60. You cannot do for a semiconductor, or you cannot change the energy here, all those things. And the moment you switch off, there is no radiation. So no theft. Safety, security, and versatility is there with electron beam accelerator. Okay, thank you. And BRC has mastered in this technology, and I am proud to share this with all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, associate नहीं होना चाहिए, तो कोई बात नहीं है ना.
In her CV, it was shown associate director. I want to correct that. She is the director of the BTDG group. Yeah.
Fine. Lalita madam was first time we saw her in group board as first lady. She remained our role model. Then Shashwati Rai madam was first group director. Engineer became group director. Otherwise, so she became another group role model. Otherwise, only doctors were there. Thank you. No problem. No problem.
In the morning, we honored several IMSA achievers. And then you were one of them. And you could not be present in the morning, I know, because of your commitments. So now it is our privilege to hand over your achievement award, whatever is the certificate and the small trophy from you, sir. Shall I read, madam, or you will read? You want to read? Okay. This award is being given to her in recognition, means it is addressed to Dr. Archana Sharma. In recognition of your contributions in the field of high power microwave, flash X-ray and industrial electron beam accelerators. Your work has been recognized internationally along with 74 other women engineers. The Golden Jubilee of IFSA it's the time to look back at the accomplishments of our members who have inspired students and colleagues alike with their dedication and expertise. We are pleased to celebrate the successes achieved by our members in various domains of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So with this is the award citation, and I request our Chairperson of Board of Trustees, Dr. Sunita Mahajan, to hand over this award to Dr. Archana Sharma.
Thank you, madam, for giving this honor. I am already honored by all of your blessings. I have reached this stage because I have traveled, interacted with each one of you. I told I had applied for my son's babysitting in this when I was staying in Amit Sagar. And your hostel is being regularly used by our summer interns, trainees, whoever come from out station. And your library will send some books also. And I want to thank each one of you for giving this opportunity and platform to share this knowledge. Thank you.
I think after the wonderful talk by Dr. Sharma regarding the latest technical solutions given by DRC, I now invite our respected trustees, two of the trustees, to give the concluding remark about the Golden Jubilee celebrations. Dr. Sudha Rao, who is the treasurer of IFSA, Board of Trustees IFSA, and Dr. Surekha Zingde, member, Board of Trustees IFSA. Yeah.
There was a platform here. Right? There was a platform here. Oh, I said it back. Okay. Good evening. On? Yeah, good evening, everybody. And looks like though all of you must have enjoyed the last 2 days and this third day, but there's a sense of exhaustion along with exhilaration on your faces. This is the concluding session of the 15th Triennial and 3rd International Conference of IFSA, an event which marks the closing of the year-long celebrations of the 50-year milestone of our Indian Women Scientists Association. Over the last 2 days, you have heard the story of the inception of IWSA and its 50-year saga, and celebrated with us the members of the IWSA headquarters and its 11 branches, the achievements of many women who are soaring on the wings of change. The book on the 50-year history of IWSA, an immense effort by Dr. Lalita, Dr. Devki, Dr. Bhaktavan, Arjun, Dr. Niyati Bhattacharya, and several of our senior members would not have been possible without their deep commitment. The film showcasing the 50-year saga of IWSA was spearheaded by Dr. Nutan Bhakal. These two compilations together place the 5 decades of IWSA in a nutshell. The book on millets by our members, led by Vidya Chakravarti, Sweden, under the guidance of Dr. Susan Epen, was an act contribution of IWSA for the International Year of Millets. We at the IWSA headquarters have made efforts to bring together in person and online all our members, well-wishers, donors, and the many who have contributed to our mandate to take science to society. Our motto for this year has been to look back, to look forward, and to soar. So in the concluding session, we now first look back over the past 2 days. This is an opportune time to say thank you to all of you who joined us for this event. Our founder member, Dr. Sudha Padhe Madam, your warm smiles of happiness is an acknowledgement that we have made your dream come true. We look forward to your continued guidance over the years that follow. Your in-depth analysis of the status and your words of wisdom at the end of the Achievers Award-winning session really will help us to take forward IWSA, hopefully with the ideas that you have in mind, and we continue to do as you wish. The association has reached its 50th year and is now embarking towards its Diamond Jubilee. I now invite Dr. Sudha Rao, Treasurer, Board of Trustees, to address the audience. Mike.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see the thin audience because then we can finish it fast. And most of my colleagues are here. Actually, the Archana Sharma took me back to BRC. Is there any improvement in the consumer education, consumer acceptance of irradiated food after I left? I hope. Because we really struggled a lot, and she took me back to those memories of food irradiation where I worked for 34 years. And then I remember my first request came for me before my retirement during the inauguration of our Kilbil, that is daycare center of BRC. Dr. Padhe, I'm sure you remember, you and Sindhu Joshi had come and you were so happy to see Kilbil. And you said, after your retirement, you have to come to IWSA and give all your attention to our activities. And as soon as I retired, I did come, and I think I did to my capacity whatever I can in last so many years. And I'm proud that you requested me that time. I made the decision, because normally after retirement, what happens? No, they don't know what to do. Really, some of them don't take any decision. They want to go abroad or they want to tour India and things like that they plan. But nobody plans what exactly you should do for the society. Your experience in the scientific field is very important to take science to masses. As you rightly always point out, even this morning you talked about it. And I also believe that not only science theoretically, but science in practice. How to practice, even the scientists won't know. Otherwise, you won't find the long queues outside the Siddhivinayak temple. Anytime you go there, you spend, at least the people spend 2-3 hours in that. So it is very difficult to understand all these things there. Anyway, it's individual choice. So we cannot think, but I can comment. Another thing, for any seminar, it's a satisfaction after 3 days of conference to every one of us who have put in efforts for all this. All the stalwarts are there, even the volunteers, including the student volunteers, office staff, everybody has worked so hard for it. I was thinking just by sitting in the afternoon, what exactly you need to make the conference successful? What are the points that one has to have in the mind and evaluate at the end of the seminar? Was it this which made the success or something else I could have done? So this is what I think we should think about it. And like roti, kapda, makan, we say, these are the 3 needs of any human beings. So for any seminar, scientific seminar, first important point is funding. If you all remember in our first meeting after COVID now, where to get the funds, all the companies are also down. Who will sponsor this, whether we'll get, and we planned so many, like platinum donor and gold donor, bronze donors and all that. But then we realized that after some time, these donors are not coming forward. Even the government organizations are not coming forward for big donations as we expected from BRNS or NPC and all those other places. So funding is the most important thing, which was a big headache, but I'm happy that everybody has struggled, small donors or big donors, and we are happy with our collection. Whatever we wanted to spend, we could spend. So that's a satisfaction I would like to say at the end of the seminar. Another thing is the speakers. When we plan any scientific seminar, the first thing is planning of speakers. And I must give credit to Shyamala Bharadwaj. She is the one major portion of fixing the speakers, national, international, online, offline, because there was a confusion about this also. Timing in USA, if the speaker is from USA, it's a big headache. And she, of course, with the help of Rita and Lalita, she has done maximum. Whenever I have heard her saying about, this one is not coming now, what to do? Who is the other alternative? And she really worked very hard and it has come out very well. Even the last minute replacement, she has managed, which I really appreciate, Shyamala. Great. Another thing now for any seminar, venue management is very important. People come here to listen, yes. They do want to understand scientific concepts and whatever the lecturer is talking about. But in addition to that, I know the one thing which we lacked was AC. It was very hot and I'm sorry about it, but it was not in our hands. But at venue management, like sound system, our projection, our online, offline, with the help of River Route, we managed very well and I'm very happy about it. Another one is registration. When we announced the first registration and the last date is this much, otherwise you have to, early birds registration was there. And we were really worried that the number was not going up as we wanted to. But then slowly it picked up and we had enough registration from our own members, including all of us have registered. Normally it is not done in other places, that those who are in organizing committee don't register, but we all have registered and paid the money. And we had enough registration from outside. even enough response from students as well as to postgraduate people for our poster session. It was really great. And the management of poster session was fantastic. There was no confusion, online, offline. There was a proper layout, like what points you should use and how much out of what, and then take the average. It was a great job, and we had a good response in that also. And all these now people have worked. Another thing which I would like to say in this, especially the seminar, conference, I realized the youngsters are picking up very fast compared to us. Now there are so many new faces which have just come in EC, or they were in other subcommittees for few years, but they are not regular workers in IWSA programs as such. But in this conference, we realized they picked up very fast, and they have done a wonderful job for all the EC members, non-EC members, non-scientists, including the Kumud. You can find her at the age of 87 running around for this conference for last almost 3 days. I saw she was more active than many of us who are younger than her. So this is a very important in a successful seminar, and that credit goes to all the people who have worked very hard, including our office staff, because there is a lot of work for them also in addition. But we have never heard any complaint, madam, ye nahi hoga, wo nahi hoga, ye kya itna kaam de raha hai? Koi bhi ek shabd nahi bola. I'm sure they must have had very long hours of working also for last so many days. And even that will continue after the seminar, because the process goes on for accounting, this, that. Even then, nobody said anything. So I'm very proud of our staff, including the auxiliary staff. It's not easy to clean this hall. In 15 minutes, 20 minutes, change the arrangement of chairs and things like that, which is a very difficult job, and 3 of them amongst themselves, they managed wonderfully. In addition to that, now other important things are Khan-Pan. Those, realize that every time you come here, spend minimum 8 to 10 hours, breakfast, high tea, lunch, dinners also for 2 days. It was a wonderful job by the catering committee, Madhu Pava and her whole team. And there was so much variety. And even our Shakti had a very good menu. And it was fantastic. So much variety, people have really enjoyed. Even high tea, that packed tea, which Rita had organized from Flurries, her idea, it went off very well. In there, I'm sure every participant has enjoyed our this Khan-Pan Seva. All these points are important, but in addition to that, we did some change also. Like that Gayatri's Troop entertainment program was a great relief. We all really enjoyed. After listening to these so many lectures and all, and waiting for dinner in between that time which we kept, credit goes to our Dr. Nutan Khalaf, who organized this foundation, and Gayatri and her students managed it so well that it really gave us a sort of relief. Like how after the hard day, when you sit in front of TV and watch some program or serial or some movie, you get sort of relief from this subject, some other subject, your mind is shifting the focus. So that's what our program did, and it was really fantastic. The dance, by young girls was really very nice. Everybody enjoyed. I remember there was a discussion, if you remember in the first meeting, she asked whether you want to concentrate on Draupadi or Sita. You remember the argument that we had? It was except me, because all of you opted for Draupadi, and I said I would prefer Sita. And she asked me why. Because I said she could handle Ram, only one husband. Draupadi managed 5 husbands. That was my objection. Anyway, we had a nice discussion on that day with Gayatri also, which I still remember. So this type of entertainment for us as well as the registered participant was very nice and we really enjoyed. Another one with the fashion show yesterday. You know, the way, of course, all the ladies are interested in wearing new saris, you know, and showing off our Jari saris and things like that. But that happens mostly in marriages.
Yeah,
or some
she's
family
saying all the time.
functions or our festivals. But in the conference, that was a great relief for all of us. I didn't participate because I cannot stand.
I'll give you a chance.
But others, including our office staff, managed it so well. And that was a real great relief for most of you. I'm sure we really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. And I'm sure all those who did all that and all that walk also really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic idea of mostly Rita and that your student, I forgot her name. It was great idea and the way you correlated with the old scientist and gave the names and talked about it. That combination also worked very well. It was a novel idea and it worked very well. So entertainment part was also taken care during these 3 days. One thing I wanted to tell that youngsters were not involved. I mean, I'm not talking about exam, but like students, you know, who are doing MSc, PhD, there should have been more participation. But maybe these dates were not suitable because the colleges have just started. That's what somebody mentioned. And that could be one of the reasons. One thing I hear more. You know, when we talk about taking the science to masses, we go down to the level of those who have never heard what is science. They have never studied. Like Dr. Padre also mentioned, today also she mentioned in initial this thing also, you should go to the level like Anganwadi workers. You know, though they are SSC pass, they go and talk to the families about family planning, about the diet, about the pregnancy, vaccination, things like that. Why? If you ask them, they don't know. They just learn it by heart and go and tell. So we should go to that level so that they understand why they should do it, how they should do it, and how science can come down that level, which we have to take care in future. And it is very important. Another thing, like district level, you know, when we conduct a seminar, recently we conducted one seminar for teachers, 40 teachers were there from different levels, from Muslim community, for Urdu community, things like their ideas are different. Even in early childhood and care, you will see their ideas are entirely different than what we teach in our course of facility course. Even about the inclusive education, though it is compulsory now by the government, every school should accept any child who wants to take admission and give them the concessions. Though it is on the rule, none of the schools are following that unless somebody forces them. So all these things are not known. Even some of the parents who come here and complain. And then we said, no, you have to insist, otherwise you will make a police complaint. Even in the nearby schools, this experience was done by some of the parents. And when they heard about the police complaint, he said, IMSA will be doing police complaint. So they took the children in the school. So, you know, so it is not just science taking to the masses, but it is helping them also at this level to improve their life, improve their experiences in their life, which they have not experienced, but IMSA can take them by holding their hands, and this will help us in future. Keep it in mind when we plan in future programs that we should hold hands with this kind of family, this kind of crowd, that they should be benefited. Like when we talk about the science experiments, they don't want to learn science behind it. Even the ladies who work in the kitchen, somebody in the discussion, they said that half the time the ladies are in the kitchen. It is true, and it will be. I don't think that picture is going to change very fast. Though abroad it is different, but in India, first khana. Even when we come here whole day, we have to worry about our husband's lunch, breakfast and everything. So that is not going to change. But then if you have some simple things like how to prepare a nutritious diet in a short time, what are the dishes that one can make and how they should make and why? Things like that also, this is like taking science to masses who have not heard about science. Even the small children, they really enjoy science experiment. They don't want to know what is magnetism. They don't want to know about the principles behind it, but they enjoy handling it. And when they grow, I'm sure this will be remembered by those children. Yes, we have seen something like this when we were small. And that is what we should do. I think this should be enough. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Sudha Rao. Sudha has almost taken away all the things that I wish to mention, but it would be very, if I did not say what I have to say now. In every event, we have strong leaders from the front and some very strong, quiet ones from behind the scenes. You have had the opportunity to hear our president, Dr. Rita Mukhopadhyay, our vice president, Dr. Shyamala Bharadwaj, and our convener, Dr. Lalita Dhareshwar, and several of our trustee members who have been steering this event. This is an opportune time to acknowledge the immense efforts of our strong, quiet ones. We would be lost without them. Dr. Suparna Kamath, who along with Vinny Sandhu, Dr. Sheila Donde, and the team handling the abstract posters, and you name it. Priya Jacob for the souvenir, Vijaya Tilak and Tripta Tiwari for the badges to the awards. They have been working quietly to ensure that we have all the requirements in place. Handling of the registrations, the continuous dialogue with the participants, and the printers, the event managers, River Route would not have been possible without their continuous push and constant supervision. I would like you to give them a very hearty, please give them. Our volunteers at the registration desk managed the many who arrived at the first day. Your patience and the warm greetings ensured our guests were well received. The excellent arrangements by Madhu and her team left everybody smiling when they left the tents behind. Their constant supervision ensured everything was perfect. As our staff and administration in accounts, led by Sangeeta Poddar and by Janti Bhosekar, we could not have done without them and all the other staff on the IBSA campus. Each and every member of IBSA staff have come forward willingly to ensure these 3 days went on smoothly. This, as we rightly accept, would not have been possible without the financial support from our sponsors, TCS, LIS, LIC, BRNS, many others, some of us who joined us on our campus with their stalls. IBSA expresses their participation with thanks. We have made new friends in this process. But before I say my last words, I would like to hear the words from the audience. I'd like to call Ruma Ghosh. These are feedbacks, that these are the true impressions of the members who would like to express what they felt of being with us here over the last 2-3 days. You can take the mic from Dr. Pandit, Dr. Sudha Rao.
Hello, I am Dr. Ruma Ghosh, coming from Kolkata. I am from Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Cancer Research Institute. It is attached with the
Before you avoid
Neurological Cancer Hospital. And I am doing the cancer research in oral cancer and breast cancer as well to develop the liquid biopsy-based biomarker. And I have presented my posters, and my PhD students also came here, and she is also presented her poster here. And after coming in this IWSA, I feel that it's my homely atmosphere and several motherly characters and motherly several Mars. I feel they are all my Mars, and I came home. It's my home actually, I feel. And IWSA is several, all members are so high profile scientists, and they have done very good job. I have seen several profiles, and I overwhelmed. And they are, when I talk to them and when I meet them, and they are so down to earth and they are so homely, I feel very, very happy, very happy. And I gathered so much of energy with this conference. I'm going back home and my lab with this energy, and hope I can radiate this energy to my associated person also in my lab and at home also. And I can balance my family and career also. In my career, several times I have a break in career due to my family, then due to my kids. Almost more than 5 years I have career break. And due to some government policies and due to some fund like for this type of women, I am here today. And now I have 3 room lab space, and 2 PhD students are working in my project, and 1 advertisement also. I have got ICMR ad hoc project in breast cancer, and in 28th is another advertisement is there. 20th is interview I said here. And
Okay.
here the scientific session was so good, and I have it was in several topics, diverse topics. I gathered so much of information, and I think for everyone this type of diverse topic is helpful to grow them. And the food was also very nice, and the hospitality is very nice. And we feel in this hot June, in June, this hot weather is nicely compatible in this room, and I like very much. And gather.
Thank you very much, Ruma. That was very nice of you. Thank you. We have a member from Kalpakam who wished to share her thoughts. Yeah. Anybody there?
1 minute, I want to add something. Surekha?
Kalpakam, that lane. You want to come up?
Surekha?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention 1 or 2 things. Please excuse me, I will say that now. Yeah. Okay, you don't mind. I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, about the hostel supervisors and daycare staff. They have also worked very hard, and I really appreciate their efforts. Like daycare staff was on Monday and today. They were working in the daycare also, but they were still helping us. Even our 2 supervisors. Yesterday in that fashion parade, I saw only 1 supervisor.
Okay. Who is that?
So I asked her, why you didn't come for this thing, fashion parade? Madam, एक तो कोई इधर रहना चाहिए ना, कभी भी फोन आता है, कोई तो इंक्वायरी के लिए आता है, कोई तो चाबी के लिए आता है, रजिस्टर साइन So I really appreciate, I mean, they really worked very hard and cooperated very well with every committee as well as the hostel committee. One more thing I forgot to mention is, because of this seminar, once we approached one company, they said under CSR, you have registration? We said, no, we didn't know also. I mean, we had heard about it, but we didn't really look into it. And he explained to me, then we found out Vaiju also worked on it. We have to apply online and you'll be surprised. Vaiju's husband did it for us and got it within a day. Now we have the CSR number where you can apply for any project, any amount. Many big companies, they just see your number, they will allot money for projects. So that's a really good thing which I forgot to mention. And I must thank the person who recommended that. And he gave 50,000 also. He said every year you can take 50,000 from me under your CSR number. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sudha. Yes, that was important information. We have a member from online. There is Vanarja Nagraju. I have not forgotten you. I have not forgotten you. Vanaja. Yeah, is she there? There's somebody showed their hand and then.
Yes, Madam Vanajaya from Kalpakam.
Yeah, just a minute or two, please, Vanja.
Pardon me? Am I audible, madam?
Yes, now you're audible.
Yeah, a very good evening. And I am from Kalpakam and I just wanted to share some of my views. I have attended all the 3 days and actually this Kalpakam chapter has been, I have joined somewhere in 1996, I joined Kalpakam and Dr. Mrs. S.S. Raj was the convener. And I just wanted to place on record the great work that she did for IFSA. In the initial stages, it was like we had just around 10 to 12 members and all the meetings were held in her residence and she worked very hard to bring in and try to bring in more members. And today I'm happy to say that we have over 190 members, of which 150 are life members. And the IFSA chapter at Kalpakam is really doing a great job. And amongst the various few the talks that we had, presentations, I just wanted to give my views on some of them, like Professor Archana Sharma's
they should be just closing remarks, please. Not your comments on the project on the
okay, madam, mainly like what we wanted to what we understood is that we need a lot of conviction, courage and determination. Like at every step there have been roadblocks, and a lot of people did also like they could empathize with many other problems that the women have faced in science. But the message that we are taking home is from Dr. Uma Shankari when she said, let your research speak. And again, this morning also when Dr. Susan said that, let there be a ray of hope. You never know, you keep doing the great work. And then finally you will be able to, you get recognized at any point of time. Maybe it will take a little late, but we do get recognized. And overall, the whole 3 days conference, it was like a feast for the mind, for the heart, as well as for the stomach. And the icing on the cake was the fashion show of last evening. So on behalf of the entire Kalpakam contingent, I just want to say a big thank you. We learned a lot. We could, many new areas which were not familiar to us, we got introduced to. And thank you. And we hope to keep meeting again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vanaja. Thank you so much. Before I call Madhu to say some things, I think this year would not have been possible without the perseverance and passion with which Dr. Lalita Dhareshwar, Chairperson of the Golden Jubilee Committee, and convener of the conference, has ensured that the 50th year of ILSA will be remembered. I request you all to please join me in giving her a standing ovation. Yeah. Okay. Madhu, before Lalita takes over, you can have your chance. Thank you, one and all. Thank you from me. Good night.